everybody, my name is Violeta Ramirez and welcome to CLC's 20 Questions Study Abroad Edition with me. I studied abroad in summer of 2014 at Ehime University in Matsuyama, Japan, and I graduated from CLC in fall of 2015. I actually wanted to study abroad in China for a semester first before I actually considered Japan. The reason being is because I was studying Mandarin Chinese and I wanted to practice my language skills. But at the time, I wasn't aware that financial aid could possibly cover my expenses for study abroad. So I ended up doing 3 weeks in Japan simply because it was less expensive for me, and also considering that I thought paying to study abroad would come out of my own pocket. So that's why I ended up going to Japan instead, but I don't regret it at all because I came back very impacted, and it just motivated me to look for more opportunities to go abroad again. The way I covered the cost of my program was from my own funding. So I was a student worker at the Children's Learning Center at CLC at the time, and I saved up my money from working there, and I paid half the cost of the tuition for study abroad because I actually received the CLC Study Abroad Scholarship. And that is something I am very grateful for till this day because that covered half the cost of my program. So I only had to pay the other half. So from then on forward, I always encourage other students to apply for scholarships. When I hear culture shock, the first memory that comes to mind is how incredibly clean it was. And I say that because walking to campus in the morning, I was very happy to see that there were people that would clean the streets, sweep the sidewalks. So it was amazing to see how much they actually cared about, their environment, to actually do that on a daily basis. So I came back just amazed by that. And interestingly, I was never able to find a trash bin. So what I would have to do if, I went to the convenience store to get a snack or something, I would have to hold on to my trash until I got back home to throw it away. So that was something that was very interesting, and I loved it. My experience as an American woman of color studying abroad was very eye-opening. I was born and raised in the US, and I grew up in a Spanish-speaking household with Mexican culture. So I grew up bilingual, bicultural, and that was my norm. It didn't seem like a big deal to me growing up. That was just my norm. So going to Japan and not having the stereotypical image of what an American woman looks like, people wanted to know, well, where are you from? Why do you speak Spanish? How is that possible? But it was just amazing to see how people were so intrigued by it and they wanted to learn more about that. And it was very impactful. It made me feel very proud of my upbringing. And so it was an educational moment for me to explain how my family is, and why I speak Spanish, what kind of food do we eat, and introducing them to foods by pictures and explaining what was in them. So it was something that never made me think, before this experience, I never thought it was a big deal. So after that, I was like, wow, it really is a beautiful thing to grow up like the way I did. What I discovered about myself from studying abroad is my passion. So I essentially went to CLC because I had no idea what I wanted to do after high school and what I wanted to major in and what career path I wanted. So studying abroad really helped me figure out what my interests were, and reflecting on my high school experience, I realized I really enjoy language, culture, and history. What is there available that can tie all those things together? And after coming back from my study abroad program, I was researching so many programs from different colleges, trying to figure out, is this for me? And then I finally came across global studies at UW Milwaukee, and that was something that felt so right and it really made me want to transfer because my initial thought was if I don't figure out what I want, then I'll just complete a 2 year degree or a 2 year program and I'll figure things out after that. So I'm very grateful that I studied abroad because it made me realize and figure out what I wanted. I would have to say my favorite food in Japan that I ate was sushi. And I say that because comparing to what I've eaten in the US for sushi, it really doesn't compare. I've never tasted fish that tasted so fresh and it was amazing. I can't compare to what I've eaten in the US. I still love the US sushi as well, but it really does not compare. The way I got involved was by hanging out with the Japanese students. So we actually had a group of students on campus that were there to support us throughout our 3 weeks. And they would take us out to eat, they would take us to various places of the town. So I would say that they were showing us like the real Matsuyama, right? Because they were locals and I loved seeing that part of Matsuyama. And I also participated in being with the host family for a weekend. The amount of effort that they put into planning for those 2 days was amazing. I did so much. They took me to various parts. The most memorable memory was when they took me up to a mountaintop and we had noodles and there were so many beautiful people in the river and the waterfall. It's something I'll never forget. And just bonding with their 2 kids was beautiful. I still have my host family on Facebook and we keep in communication that way. And just the amount of love and support that I got from the Japanese students in my host family made me want to give that back. So coming back to CLC, I was looking always for ways to show support to the international students that came to campus. I on my own did not get to go to other parts of Japan, but as a group, we did go to Hiroshima, and that is a place I would definitely go back to if I can. And we also went to Tokyo. Something I regret that I did not do. Shockingly, I never had ramen while I was there. Um, Everybody says, how could you do that? That's like a sin. Why didn't you not try it? I don't know. I just think I never really looked for the opportunity, or maybe I just didn't think about it at the time. But yeah, I never had ramen while I was there, and I regret it. With our housing situation, we all actually lived in a shared house. We were located within a neighborhood, so I really liked that, having the neighborhood aspect and seeing how that is like. So upstairs was all the girls, downstairs were all the boys. Each floor had their own bathroom. And we all shared the kitchen. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that a lot. And then in the mornings, everyone just collectively waking up and getting dressed and the hassle, and some of us going on our own to campus and some of us as a group or in pairs. So that was a lot of fun. I stayed in contact with my parents through WeChat, so I actually already had that app downloaded on my phone. So all I had to do was download it onto theirs, and we would talk probably every 3 to 4 days while I was there, but every day I actually did send them videos and pictures. Our classroom environment wasn't very different compared to CLC because we all actually took class together. We would have some of the Japanese students come in and participate with us, but it wasn't like Eastern style or Japanese style, it was Western style. And our instructor was Jill Bruman, so she would teach our course, and we would also have a small Japanese language lesson, so we had a Japanese professor teach us. We didn't really get to meet other students from other countries. If we did meet other people from other countries, it was if we were in a restaurant or of some sort, and we would see other foreigners on the street, but that was pretty much it. We didn't really interact with other foreign students that were on campus. Of course, we still keep in contact. We have each other on Facebook or Instagram. And like I previously mentioned, I do have my host family there as well. So I see pictures of their kids and any major events of all my friends as well. So I really hope that one day I get to go back. Something I recommend to pack, I would say hair product. So I don't know if you can tell, like I have curly hair, and that is something I did not really think of packing, like hair product. So if you have textured hair, wavy curly hair, it is essential to pack that. It, you will regret it if you don't. I believe it's important to be a global citizen because we are surrounded by various cultures on a daily basis. Studying abroad allows you to expand your mind, be put in difficult situations, learning how to adjust, problem solve, and coming back, it allows you to be empathetic to people that are arriving to this country, whether it's for studies or for opportunities. And nothing is narrow minded in terms of a career. Everything is international. There is opportunities for every major in career to go abroad and have that international experience. Studying abroad definitely led me to a different path because I essentially went into CLC not knowing what I wanted, studied abroad, discovered, the major of global studies, which motivated me to transfer to a four-year school. And from being at my four-year school, I also studied abroad again for an academic year. So those experiences and the path that led me to those experiences really made me realize what I wanted in terms of a career, and that is to be in international higher education. And I'm very grateful for that because if it weren't from that one experience of being in Japan, from simply getting the courage to apply, getting accepted, getting the courage to apply for the scholarship, getting that accepted as well, I don't know where I would be right now if that opportunity never occurred. The advice I would give is to speak up. I know a lot of us are probably shy or feel some form of shame because we don't have these answers. We probably don't have that support from home to guide us and how to go forward with a study abroad opportunity. But it is essential to speak up, whether it's speaking to a professor or instructor that you can confide in. You can tell them what's going on, the struggles you're facing for trying to gain this opportunity. Also speaking with financial aid and asking how can or is it possible for my financial aid package to cover study abroad expenses. Going into the international office and speaking with someone about study abroad, because you would be amazed with the amount of scholarships that there are available out there for you to be able to go. I encourage community college students to go abroad because you may be in that similar position I used to be in, not knowing what you wanted, wanting to discover and figure out what do I do after I finish here. You can do it. I think it is essential to really speak up and try to figure out, how do I do this? How do I move forward with this? How much do you really want it, to try to get those answers? And if you're in the similar position I was before, you may not have that support at home. So I think it is very essential to just gain advocates and to help you and figure out what can I do and who can help me. Because if you speak up, you would be surprised at the amount of support you'll get, because many people do want you to have that international experience. Study abroad in 5 words: life-changing, international friends, that'd be 2, scholarships, photography, take lots of pictures, and love. Lots of love and support. Thanks for watching.